Today's episode is titled The Shame on You. What? The shame on you? It's a pun. Don't you? Oh, never mind.
Mystery Mountain, an exciting challenge to adventurous young mountain climbers like Marvin, Wendy, and Wonder Dog. Halfway up the slope, they stop for a picnic.
Wow, this looks like a good spot.
They are unaware that a mysterious occurrence is about to launch them into one of the most exciting days of their lives.
We'll be the judges of that, Ted. Wendy has the food set out, and Marvin has the drinks.
Here you are, Wendy. Hey!
Huh?
Or not. Follow those cans.
On the mountaintop, they discover a very strange object, a giant metallic U.
I know what it is. It's a magnet.
It can't be. These metal cans don't stick to it. Neither does my Super Friends wristband made of steel.
It shouldn't have affected the cans since they're made of aluminum, but we'll sneak by that one. I guess neither of them has heard of an electromagnet. They'll go report this to the Super Friends because they know those guys will want to take a look. They won't find anything, but Batman and Robin know enough to believe them. They land in the valley and start retracing their steps.
This is where we started out.
There's something up there, all right. Robin and I will check it out.
That's not a U, that's a pew-pew.
Hey, Wendy, don't we want to see it too?
Okay, let's take the mountain trail.
Holy alphabet! There's the U!
Let's head for it.
Okay, whoever is operating this stuff has a U and a pew-pew. And what's it all good for?
Something's pulling us. We're in trouble, Robin.
You did say you wanted to head for it. It's helping.
We're in double trouble, Batman! Look up there!
Great blazes.
In the sky, a huge meteor, attracted by the mighty magnet, plummets toward the helpless aircraft.
Swing away from the meteor's path! Quick, Batman!
Don't you think he would if he could? Maybe instead of being typically Robin, shut up and help him with that stick.
I'm trying, Teen Wonder. There's a little matter of a mountain in our path. I've got this at vertical descent full power, but it won't drop.
Missed it! By inches!
It doesn't matter what series it is. Robin has an amazing talent for denoting the obvious. The meteor crashes to Earth and the magnet shuts off just in time. Suddenly the Batcopter is speeding out of control backwards. You can stop wrestling with the stick now, Batman. Just land so Robin can dispose of the barf bag he had to use.
Wendy? Marvin? Wonder Dog, where are you?
Look, Robin, fresh footprints.
Fresh?
I think our young friends got curious. Probably climbed the mountain.
To see what they could see?
They may see more than they can handle. We'd better go after them.
Hey, Wendy, that thing almost crashed the Batcopter. Let's go stick our faces in it.
Atop the mountain, the trapdoors open, and now a crane rises to retrieve the treasure from the sky. A meteorite of solid gold.
Wow, that's convenient. How many gold meteoroids are there out there, and how did he manage to pick the only one?
The mystery unfolds. Inside the mountaintop, the underground laboratory of the brilliant scientist, Shamon. Carefully, he examines the meteorite with his equally brilliant lab technician, Madame Lila Labonne.
Labonne, French for the good one. Subtle, writers.
It's gold, Madame Le Bon. Solid gold.
Your plan was brilliant.
drawing the space cloud toward Earth with your special gold-attracting magnet, then smelting the gold dust with intense heat from the laser beam.
And then, once again, using the Shamon U
I told you that's how it's pronounced.
to bring the gold nugget down to our mountain top.
I hope that made sense. He found a cloud of space gas that's loaded with gold molecules. His magnet, or his U if you simply must, pulled the cloud within reach, and his laser is fusing the gold molecules together into that.
Dr. Shamon, before we do any more sky mining, I really believe we should approach this project more cautiously.
Cautiously. What harm can...
My studies show only 50% of the space cloud is gold dust. I don't know yet what the other particles are composed of.
Who cares about side effects?
I know, right? Who cares if something in it makes you grow a third eye in your navel as long as you're rich?
The U is gone.
Holy Houdini! That thing keeps vanishing. What do you make of it, Batman?
We saw the meteor land here. It's my guess it bounced off and rolled down the other side.
Oh, world's greatest detective, do you see any roll marks? Maybe it took the world's most precise bounce.
The steep side.
Maybe that meteorite can give us a clue as to what's going on up here.
Excellent deduction, Robin. Kids, you wait here. Robin and I are going to climb down the steep side and look for it.
While they're finding a way to do that, they scare a rabbit. That's the most interesting thing that happens.
Golly, they never let us do the exciting stuff.
What's that coming up?
I think that's trouble coming up. Let's hide.
Where? What is it?
I think it's a laser gun.
Is that exciting enough for you, Marvin? Okay, Ted Knight, tell us how this works.
Shamon's laser beam strikes a portion of the space cloud, igniting it into a brilliant white-hot fireball. The intense heat fuses the particles of gold into another huge nugget.
Thank you. Now please tell us about those side effects the professor brushed off.
And, after this mighty fusion, a mysterious mist slowly drifts downward into the atmosphere. There, it becomes strangely affected by the Earth's oxygen, creating exotic gases unknown to Earth scientists, and, like our air, appears invisible to the human eye.
I'm guessing that's not good. Wendy and Marvin have been watching all this from that convenient foxhole.
Look, something else is coming up.
It's the U.
Hey, what?
The magnet's got his wristband. Come on, Wonder Dog. He needs help.
Yeah, help him take it off.
Keep tugging, Wonder Dog.
Have him reach up and take the wristband off.
Hang in there, Marvin.
You mean I've got a choice?
Yes, unclasp the wristband and get out of it. As quick as the gold meteor hits, the magnet turns off and he's okay.
What? It's another meteorite.
This one didn't bounce off. Wow, look at the color of it. Somebody painted it gold.
Marvin, this came from space. Who'd be up there painting meteorites gold? It's a claw.
And it's moving this way. And I'm moving that way.
Now they can deduce that Batman and Robin are on a wild rabbit chase.
A puff of mist floats down from the sky, and a tiny rabbit becomes its first victim.
They may or may not want to complete the chase.
Holy cottontails! It must be 8 feet tall. How'd it get so big?
I'm gonna go with not. The good news is, unless you look like a blade of grass or a flower, he's not gonna care what you taste like.
It's gonna take the meteorite down through the trapdoors. I wonder what's under there.
Me too. And there's only one way to find out. Come on.
They should at least try to be polite. Where's the doorbell on this thing?
Eh? What is this?
We have visitors.
Hi.
Who are you?
Sir, we were just mountain climbing and,
Young lady, do you realize you're trespassing on private property?
I'm sorry, but we just wanted to let you know that your magnet almost caused a helicopter crash.
You see, Dr. Shamon? As I said, we should be more careful.
We will be, Madame Lebon, after I get all the gold.
He's built this amazing technique for extracting minerals from space dust. Does he use it to extract aluminum or iron or even silicon from microchips? You know, something that's actually useful to people? No, he thinks he's going to be the richest person in the world with one more big nugget. In reality, if he were to flood the market with even as much gold as he has now, the price would drop from about $161 an ounce to roughly 15 cents a ton. Tell me he doesn't understand supply and demand without telling me he doesn't understand supply and demand.
Well, that's all we wanted to tell you. Now, if you'll just, show us the way out?
Getting out of here is a most complicated procedure. We're very busy at the moment. I can't spare anyone to accompany you.
Doctor, you can't keep these young people here all night. They've got to get home.
Send them back up the way they came. Nobody will think of that.
I didn't invite them. They'll have to stay until after we've sky-mined the remainder of this space gold.
Very well, but I still think we're going ahead too fast. There could be dangerous consequences.
I'll worry about the consequences.
Down the steep side of the mountain, Batman and Robin have found something.
Cables.
Obviously, Robin, there's a cable car terminal beneath this ledge. Very interesting.
Why would anyone build a cable car station halfway up a cliff? Where could it lead?
Good question, Robin. I was about to voice the same query.
I can only think of one way to find out. Go back to town and look up the county records. No?
Use your batarang. Do as I do.
Good thinking, Batman. From here, we can climb down to the valley.
Oh yeah, that works too. But I think it'd be more fun to keep going. He makes the batarangs out of Batmanium so they can take it.
It's our bat communicators.
This is Superman. Where are you?
At Mystery Mountain, which I can assure you is well named.
Superman, we just saw a rabbit 8 feet tall.
Come to the Justice League Hall immediately. That giant rabbit you saw is only one example of the weird things happening all over the world.
Never mind. They'll figure out the rest of the cable later.
Far off in the African jungle, a puff of green mist has made an elephant grow to twice his normal size. And now, a red mist descends on an unsuspecting giraffe. Because the red and green mists are not visible to the human eye, the Super Friends are completely baffled by the strange phenomenon.
Hold on, I hear someone cry. If they're invisible, how do you know they're red and green? Well, that's Ted Knight's superpower. He can see colors that aren't there.
Aquaman, look what's happening underwater.
Galloping guppies. That lobster must be 50 feet long.
Make my monster!
Those lights up ahead. Isn't that the Oceanography Sea Lab?
Yes. If that giant lobster reaches it and uses that monster claw, great Neptune!
Lobsters will eat just about anything that doesn't eat them first, and on those stilts it does look like a big crab or shrimp. I don't see digestion going well, though.
That's in Southern California, an orange grove.
It's obviously affecting trees and plants, too. Great Aphrodite! Look at that orange tree grow.
It's the size of a redwood.
I've peeled some oranges with thick skins, but wow. The wind is coming up and shaking the trees, and that one is threatening to drop more fruit on the farmhouse and other buildings. Superman had better get there before it does. He can't sit there and wait to see which ones fall down, so he does the next best thing, uproot the tree and lay it down.
Might as well bring Wonder Woman a little gift. I mean a big gift. Up, up, and away!
Maybe with a gift like this, she'll finally...
Look how much gold dust is left in that space cloud.
Doctor, we're dealing with strange, unidentified matter. For all we know, our first 2 sky mining attempts may already be causing serious problems in our atmosphere.
Serious problems for others, perhaps, but not for me. When I have finished, I'll be the richest man in the world.
Messing up the atmosphere isn't a problem for him. He can breathe gold. Madame de Bon can't work for a man without a conscience any longer. She storms out, taking the kids with her.
You may be sure, Dr. Shamon, that I shall report your activities to the proper authorities.
Don't tell him that! They hop into that cable car that Batman and Robin were trying to figure out.
No harm will come to them. They'll be bored and impatient for a few hours, but safe. Then I'll let them continue across. By that time, I'll have more gold than Fort Knox.
I'm pretty sure you already do, but too much is never enough for the greedy person.
Oh, great. Because we came with some friends and they're going to wonder where we are.
Friends?
The dynamic duo, Batman and Robin.
You know the Caped Crusaders?
Sure. We know all the super friends.
The super friends, eh? Those are the very people who should be told about Dr. Shamon.
That's easy. We'll introduce you to Batman and Robin once we get out of here.
Why wait that long?
I told him not to climb down. It'd be more fun to keep going.
Mon Dieu, the Caped Crusader!
Make that plural.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Puberty does strange things to the body. Without warning, Robin found himself with a Jay Leno chin. He wanted to switch to a full face mask like Spider-Man, but Batman wouldn't let him. Batman slides out and brings the Batcopter off to headquarters.
With the speed of a barracuda, Aquaman streaks through the water to try to prevent an undersea catastrophe.
Moving a 50-foot lobster is going to require some very large muscles. And I don't mean clams.
Why can't he just tell the lobster to turn around and go home?
Aquaman's telepathic SOS reaches 3 powerful whales who answer his call for aid.
He'll lasso it and have the 3 whales drag it away to somewhere harmless.
But at that moment, a red mist floats down from the surface above and lands on one of the sea pachyderms.
As I said, he'll lasso it and have the 2 whales drag it away to somewhere harmless.
Thanks, you two.
I help.
By the beard of Poseidon, what's this? You're a whale? A miniaturized whale?
At headquarters, Wonder Woman and Madame Le Bon are discussing what's happened.
We might learn something if we could examine one of the plants or creatures that have been exposed.
Wonder Woman, your wish is my command.
Superman.
Wow! That's really a whale of an orange.
Speaking of whales, here's one that's now something of a shrimp.
They now have one of each.
Isn't that convenient?
Those 2 go off to the lab to analyze all this. An emergency comes up that takes Superman away, so that leaves Batman and Robin to deal with Dr. Shamon. Thing is, Batman and Robin don't realize they have 3 shadows. Dr. Shamon knows they're coming and has made some adjustments to his magnet.
Holy horseshoe! It's the Shamon U! It's repelling us!
A very astute deduction, Teen Wonder.
The magnet's pushing us backward!
They've spent a fair amount of time going backwards this episode. Vehicles might be due for a checkup.
How much farther, Wendy?
A mile, maybe 3.
A mile? Maybe 3? What happened to 2?
I figure we're too close to be 2 miles away. And if we're not that close, then we're too far to be 2 miles away.
I guess you can't argue with that kind of logic.
And if Wonder Dog stays that size, Marvin will be due for tougher tires and maybe some shock absorbers.
Hey, Wendy, this is cool. I feel like a Maharaji on an elephant. Forward, Jumbo!
Never mind, that beats pedaling. And Wonder Dog is pretty pleased with himself. Just hope he doesn't ask for a proportionally sized milk bone. Batman and Robin are trying to figure out how to get up to Dr. Shamon's place without the cable car. Their grapples can't catch on to anything on the mountainside.
If I climb to these high branches, I can whip my bat line across into one of the trees on the slope.
Good idea. I'll catch the loose end when it falls.
Hey, What?
Great places. It's growing and taking Robin with it. Hang on, Robin. I'll get you down. These bat cups should do it.
Good thing he already had his knee cups on, saves a lot of time. He knew all along that he could get up that way. He was messing with Robin's head. Prank officially backfired.
Look! What's that?
It's a tree, and it's growing fast the way Wonder Dog did.
Somebody's up in it. Why, it's Robin. He's in trouble. We've got to get him out of that tree.
If we climb to the other side of the mountain, he can throw his bat line to us and slide down.
What are we waiting for? Let's climb.
Batman doesn't know the kids are there, so he's trying to devise his own way of getting Robin down.
Holy Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm really getting up in the world. Pretty soon, this tree will be as high as those cables. The cables. Say, thanks, tree. You're taking me just where I want to go.
And all of you can never mind, he'll do it himself.
I believe that's the last we'll see of the Batmobile. They wouldn't dare drive up again. And it's my guess they'll climb to the summit to try to break through the trapdoors. If they try that, they'll have quite a surprise. Those heavy steel doors are locked into place. It's impossible to open them from outside.
Ah, but how about from inside?
He'd better find a way from inside because Batman is trying to get through them in the dumbest ways he can think of. First he tries stomping on them, then he gets a big tree branch and tries to pry it open. Really, detective? I think he's just killing time until Robin figures out a way to let him in. Dr. Shamon doesn't want him to do that.
Uh-oh, that laser beam's drilling a hole in the trapdoors.
That helps the situation. How? Do something, Robin.
What's that? Stop him! He's going to open the trapdoors!
That'll do. Took you long enough.
The Cape Crusader!
Shamon and his expendable extras duck into a secret tunnel. The dynamic duo can't figure out how to open it. Looks like they're getting away.
Honey, I've never seen those trees before. Ah! It's the Yeti! The abominable mountain creature! Back, men! Back! Run!
Isn't the Yeti supposed to be human-shaped? It does go by that other name.
The abominable snowman.
I guess you've got to know the magic words.
Magic words?
You know, like open sesame. Holy Alibaba!
I would say you're kidding, but in this show it actually makes sense.
It wasn't Sesame that opened it, Robin. It was Shamon.
Save us! Protect us, please!
Save you? From what?
You'll see the abominable mountain creature, a huge giant. It's coming after us.
It's probably that big rabbit we saw earlier. Don't worry, as long as you didn't wear your lilac aftershave today, you should be okay.
Robin, hold everything. It's Wonder Dog.
Sorry, Wonder Dog. We thought you were an abominable creature.
We don't use that kind of language on this channel, Wonder Dog. Dr. Shamon promised that if they saved him, he'd quit sky mining. It's a start, but he has no idea what kind of mess he's caused.
You mean some mysterious element in the air is making things grow this size?
Yes, and it makes some things smaller.
Madame LeBon's theory is that the mystery element was created by your sky mining process.
I have a feeling he's not going to get to destroy the gold market after all.
I'm sorry. I should have listened to her. Very well, no more sky mining. I'll be satisfied with my 2 nuggets of gold.
What 2 nuggets, Doctor?
What's happening to them?
Now we know it's not just animals and plants. The mystery element also affects the stuff it came from. These gold nuggets.
They should be the size of regular gold nuggets now, which isn't very big. Most are smaller than your little fingernail. If you find one the size of a marble, you're the luckiest person in the country. I've seen one about the size of a pea. All the years I spent mining with my dad, I never actually found one. He's got 2. It's just not fair.
Like I said before, what gold nuggets?
Oh, no.
You wouldn't believe the debt he racked up to build all this. He was counting on the gold to pay it all back. And he wasn't too careful who he borrowed it from. Goodbye, kneecaps.
We've isolated the mystery element. It contains some unknown gas molecules in very strange atomic structures. We've named it Shamonite. There are two types, Shamonite red and Shamonite green. The green type makes things grow.
What do you call it?
Shamonite, Wendy, because our tests prove this was created by Dr. Shamon's experiments.
That's good. They've isolated it and identified it. Now what do they do about it? Well, first they need to get rid of that cloud that Shamon was mining.
The Man of Steel hurtles through the night toward the lowlands of Holland. From an abandoned windmill, Superman borrows an entire set of vanes and streaks into the sky with them. Up, up, into the stratosphere.
I couldn't stop laughing at this part, but it's another place where dialogue would have been better than narration. Superman could have told us what he was doing just as easily as our narrator could have. Ted Knight was all over the place narrating cartoons like this, so it makes me wonder if he got paid by the word.
So, this is Dr. Shamon's gold mine in the sky. Just about in the center of it. Here goes. Watch my dust. That does it for the cloud with the golden lining.
Now we just have to wait for Wonder Woman and Madame Le Bon to come up with a neutralizing agent for the stuff that's already reached the ground.
Say, you know what, fellas? There's something funny about this. You saw the giant rabbit. It was here, at Mystery Mountain. The lobster was here, near the East Coast. By that time, it was dark on the West Coast, too, where the orange tree grew. And in Africa, where the giraffe got small, it wasn't morning yet there.
So?
Don't you see? All those freaky things happened only in places where it was nighttime.
Or maybe Wendy will come up with the answer and humble everybody a bit. She's the only one who noticed that nothing is happening in the half of the world that's in daytime. UV light, or sunlight, is the catalyst that breaks this stuff down.
Gentlemen, we have something. There is a way to cancel out the dangerous effects of Shamonite. We find certain radiation can change its atomic structure.
And that radiation can be found in ordinary sunlight?
Yes. Who told you that?
A bright young lady named Wendy.
And why did she not tell us this information before we went to all that work?
We have also discovered that humans are not affected because of our superior intellect.
Superior intellect? Superior to what? Humans are the only species on the planet that kills for fun, kills for revenge, kills for greed, and the worst part is all that involves killing each other. Superior? Dolphins and octopuses watch us and laugh because as far as they can see, we are the dumbest creatures ever. In any case, another 12 hours or so and it'll be over. But the Super Friends can't wait that long because who knows what kind of trouble the gases will cause between now and then. This calls for something extreme.
I'd like to borrow the reflecting mirror in your telescope for just 1 hour.
Why, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Shamon. Up, up, and away!
If we're being generous, let's say that mirror is 4 feet across. I've owned several telescopes like that one, so we can assume it's concave so it focuses light as well as reflecting it. The Earth is just under 8,000 miles across. That means if we greatly exaggerate the size of Superman's mirror so we can even see it, it looks like this. He's going to use the item on the right to illuminate the item on the left. And I'm going to use this to illuminate the greater Los Angeles area. But he has an idea.
Well, let's throw a little light on the subject. Goodbye, Shamonite.
Far below in the African jungle, the tiny giraffe begins growing back to normal height. Beneath the ocean surface, the giant lobster shrinks to its proper length and swims happily away.
He's using it like the spot healing brush in Photoshop, one flaw at a time. Each thing back to its normal size.
Poor Wonder. I guess he really enjoyed being as big as an elephant.
No use fighting it, Wonder. You're going back from pachyderm to pooch.
Pachyderm? The whale?
It's still in the meeting room. If it grows back to full size, there may not be a meeting room to be in anymore.
Clear the way!
Some days you just can't get rid of a whale.
Stand back, everyone! Stand back! In a few seconds, there'll be no room out there.
That poor whale. Not only does it not understand what's going on, now it's stuck out there with no water, abrasive asphalt scraping its tummy, and all kinds of little annoying creatures around it making weird honking noises. I realized that was as far as Batman could get with it on foot, but now they'd better find a way to get it to the water before it's seriously harmed, or one of those drivers tries to sell it to a tourist.
Robin, block off all traffic on this street.
I think the whale is already doing that, Batman.
Look, Daddy, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's Superman.
I'd say you have a whale of a problem here.
He's been trying to think of a good joke all day. Behold the result.
But don't worry, Captain. I'll take care of it. All right, big boy. It's back to the deep blue for you.
With muscles of steel, Superman lifts the gigantic whale and transports it back to its home in the sea.
So all is well. There are times when it seems like the answer to everything is called Superman. But besides everything else about this show, the balance among the various team members is very well done. We find ways to play to each of their strengths and give each one a chance to shine, even the kids in Wonder Dog. I've seen the criticisms about Aquaman, and to a degree I can see the point. The majority of issues happen on land, so there's not that much for him to do. We might have done well to put Green Lantern or even the Atom in his place, but here we are. Our writers usually try to have something happening in the ocean so he gets to play too, but sometimes it really is a stretch. Aquaman realized that too, and he soon changed locations. He moved to New York and got hired on as an expert in hunting land sharks. We haven't been able to find any reports about how successful he was. Today's episode is titled from this. He's not going to care what. He's not going to care. It's yak. Good Lord, David. On wants help. Yeah. Maybe if I read the line. Okay.